Man, I'm freaking surrounded by sneakers here. I mean, like, there's just like a random pair of Union 2s. I mean, there's some Hyper Dunks I haven't seen in 10 years. I mean, this is crazy. Oh, and I'm gonna review these soon, so stay tuned.
Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. You guys probably know that by now, but you're back here at the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. We got something a little bit different because I'm not talking about a specific shoe. We're not doing a specific review. Instead, we actually polled our WearTesters Discord community to ask me anything. We do this every once in a while, and now is one of those times, I guess. So, you know, we got Drew here in town, and he's gonna be the one reading off the questions. So go ahead and take it away.
At Deadpool4913 asks, what is your most regrettable purchase?
Like of all time? I probably don't know the all-time regrettable purchase. I just know what my most recent regrettable purchase is.
Does it have 4 wheels?
Are you talking about a Mustang?
Yeah.
No, I love that thing.
I'm talking about the Sally 1.0.
I still really like that car too, so no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in sneaker terms right now, so no, it would not be the Mustang. But my most regrettable current sneaker purchase, if that's the realm that we're staying in, would probably be those Heritage ones. Not because I don't like the shoe, it's because I have 3 pairs of them. Because StockX and GOAT are ass. Like, a lot of you guys don't know like how we get our product and everything. So some of the stuff we get it from retail, which the majority of it is from retail. However, the stuff that you see that's a little bit earlier than that, those are things where I have to pay out the wazoo for something early, you know what I mean? And the only places that I trust, which is the only place where you can really get them nowadays, are those 2 apps. And so I paid way too much for the first pair of the Heritage ones that I bought from StockX. They don't allow returns or cancel orders, and it took them literally a month to send the shoe. And so after about 2 or 3 weeks of waiting for the shoe to arrive from StockX, I go over to GOAT and I buy a different pair for half of what I paid for the first pair. GOAT sometimes has those issues too, where they're waiting on the seller, and the seller can take as long as they want apparently, even though there's literally rules on their website that you have to package and ship as a seller within 3 business days. And like days go by and I even email GOAT and I'm like, yo, what's going on? And nobody replies in time because of the pandemic. And so like, even though I know that y'all working from home, so that's bullshit. So yeah, so then I see on GOAT that there's another pair. This is what I really hate about GOAT. I bought a pair of shoes, this shoe in particular. Then all of a sudden my same exact size, knowing that whoever confirmed to send the first pair that I bought hasn't done so yet, there's my size now available for instant ship. You as a company should take it upon yourself to fulfill my order. There's no reason why I bought my size in that shoe and then I have to wait because Joe Blow over there decided to be like, yeah, I'm gonna confirm to sell these or whatever, and whatever happens. And so then I bought the third pair, which was the instant ship pair. I got that pair, that's the pair that we reviewed. And then 2 weeks later, so we're already over a month, I get both the previous pairs delivered on the same day. And I spent way too much money on all 3 of those, and that, my friends, is what you call a regrettable purchase.
At Eric Sue 22 asks, what are 3 shoes you would take on a trip?
I don't have specifics, but the last trip that we did, where we stayed at that like farm or whatever, I usually will take a pair of ones, because those are the shoes that I wear the most. Then I'll take a pair of beaters, which are typically my Vans. So the Vans Old School is my favorite, or my go-to. And then the third one, for that particular trip, I actually took my LaMelo shoes, the Rick and Morty's, because I was also going to play basketball on the trip. So I had a functional pair for basketball, I had a beater pair, and then I had a nice pair that I wear, and that's pretty much it. I feel like that's plenty of shoes.
At Ralph Puno asks, are there any plans for releasing a Nightwing 2?
Not at the moment, but I'm always open for it, so I would never say never.
He also asks about a possible retro of the WearTesters times Brandblack collabs.
I've spoken with David about that. David's one of the co-owners of Brandblack. For the first shoe, the Ether, that shoe was when they were under ownership of the Skechers brand. So all of those designs and the tooling molds and all that stuff, that actually belongs to Skechers and not Brandblack. So that shoe will probably never get retroed. And then as far as the rare metal goes, that shoe I think can be retroed. I don't know if it necessarily needs to be, just because it's not that old. So I probably wouldn't do it. I would personally definitely want to do something new, like a Nightwing 2 or whatever, but I don't know if or when that will ever happen.
Ryan from Discord, everybody knows Ryan, he's been in videos, asks, who was a more iconic player, Pele or Michael Jordan?
I only know one of the two, so that's my answer. Sorry, Ryan.
Sir Nightingale 111,000 on Discord asks, well, first he has a statement. Hey Chris, just wanted to say a big thank you for being the man. Every review you do puts a smile on my face and makes me giggle no matter how down I'm feeling.
Aw, shucks.
Anyway, I've only been really into basketball shoes and sneakers for about 6 months, so I was curious, what's been your favorite signature basketball shoe line of the past 35 years besides Jordans?
The first one that comes to mind is Penny. So I think that the Penny line is zero misses if we're talking about the 1 through 4. I think they're all incredible, especially from a design perspective. I love all of the Kobe's. Well, actually, I don't love all the Kobe's, but I love the Kobe line because that one was really the line that to truly push performance, especially in the modern era or today's era. One line that doesn't get talked about really nearly enough is the Fila Grant Hill line. I actually have a bunch of those shoes that we're supposed to talk about, but there's so many releases that video just keeps getting pushed and pushed back. But I think that that's a forgotten classic. And as far as another one, I would put the Iverson line, but I really only love like the first like 6 or 7 models, you know what I mean? So I don't like love all of them. I think that line started out really strong and then totally tapered off towards the end. That one just didn't stand the test of time.
At Rizzy from Discord asks, if you have a comic book character other than Nightwing, who would it be and what shoes would you have him or her wear, casual or in costume? Thanks for the videos and keep up the good work.
So if I were to choose any character outside of Nightwing,
Yes.
what would that hero be wearing?
Bingo.
I don't know if these are technically considered comic book characters, even though today I believe that they are just because of Boom Comics and they have a great Power Rangers series. But I would take each of those original Rangers and put them in something that was truly reflective of the era that the show originally aired, was like around 93. Because I think that they were all wearing, I remember being a kid watching that show and wondering, why does Tommy always wear training shoes for martial arts casually? Like, I'm like, why? You're never like, you know what I mean? It was always so weird to me. Same thing with Jason, like the two of them always wore like martial arts style shoes casually, and I was just like, bro, where's the Chucks or where's the Jordans or something? Like, it was just weird to me. So I'd probably switch all of them and make them wear something a little bit more accurate to the time frame of the show's original air date.
At X-Wing Ace on IG asks, why doesn't Jordan Brand like you?
I don't know. I guess they're afraid of true greatness.
This one's from me. Do you watch other sneaker YouTubers? Why or why not?
I do not. Most of the time it's because I'm too busy to. So when I'm watching other YouTube channels, because that's primarily what I do watch, we don't have cable. So unless we're watching like a current streaming show, then I'm watching YouTube and I watch the stuff that interests me, which is movies and comic books and stuff. And if I want to know anything about shoes, I'm the guy for that. So like, I don't have any real need. Like, there's nothing that they could teach me that I don't already know, in my opinion. Now, if we had somebody like Tinker Hatfield or Eric Avar or somebody like that, like Tiffany Beers, when she had her channel running, that was a sneaker YouTube channel that I loved watching because I would actually learn tons of stuff from her. I do like a Speed Hack with Dave and them. They used to design like the Under Armour Curries, the early ones. So yeah, so certain things, if I can't learn more than what I currently know, I do have one sneaker channel that I love watching, actually. I take that back. Nacho Average Finds. I think that they do a great job.
At FJP12 on Discord asks, would you ever do a rep performance review or have someone else on your team performance review a rep?
I'd probably say no. I understand where the question comes from, especially like if we're talking about that particular shoe. I believe a lot of the reps actually have more tech in them on accident because they're going with like old tech specs and not pro tech specs. But we're not in the rep business, you know what I mean? Like promoting reps and stuff like that. Like, I don't know how like good they are. I don't know if the glue is good. I don't know if they're using real carbon fiber or glass-based carbon. I don't know what the hell's going on. So for something like that, I would personally say no. I feel like that would tarnish our image or our reputation of being trustworthy. I don't mind talking about reps and I don't mind people that buy them or anything like that. Like, everybody's, you know, allowed to do what they want with their own money. But I just feel like if we were to promote in any way playing in rep shoes, like it's just somehow putting a stamp of approval on that, and I don't have a stamp of approval from us personally, so I would not do that at all.
These are ones we get on IG a lot. How'd you get the idea to add Jodi to the end of videos?
That was an accident. Like starting the channel was an accident, even though it was purposeful, but like I didn't intend, like when we started the channel, what we do professionally for a living was not an option back then. Like I started 13 years ago now. There was no revenue or anything. There was no ads. So I just started making videos because I liked it. But the reason why is really because of these two cameras, because we got these Sony Alphas and I cannot change the viewfinder to like actually face me. And I'm used to working with Canons prior to the Sony, and Canons overheat within about 30 minutes and they'll just shut off. So when I was able to see the viewfinder, I can actually see all of that stuff happening. So I know when to stop and when not to. But with the Sony stuff, I have no idea what's happening back there. I don't know if my sound is accurate or even working, which has happened before where like she's got headphones on so she can hear me right now. I put her back there so that I can have somebody monitor the cameras first. And because she was back there, for whatever reason, I just feel like weird not acknowledging her. So like I would talk to her randomly, and then it ended up making it in the videos. And then we saw that people liked it, and we just kept it going. So it's pretty much that simple.
Here's another one from IG. Will you review Langston Galloway's Ethics shoe?
Yeah, I have them over there actually. I stopped doing performance reviews though because my hips are going bad and it's very painful to play. And then on top of that, a lot of the people that we would film with on court and everything, like they're busy, you know what I mean? Like they have their own lives and stuff, and I can't like make them stop everything they're doing just for us, you know what I mean? So we will do it eventually. It's just, I just don't have the time right now. Like we've got so much other stuff going on. Performance really isn't a mainstay anymore for whatever reason, whether you want to blame it on the pandemic or not, I don't know. And then on top of that, views are also a big reason for certain videos to be made, and that one just isn't high on priority because it won't make us money, which sucks to say, but doing YouTube, man, it's got pros and cons.
Also from IG, this is from newer viewers, I believe. What is the right way for a basketball shoe to fit?
Honestly, that's a personal opinion. Personally, I know how I like my shoes to fit, and that's with as little wiggle room as possible as far as lateral shifting goes. So I don't like the movement and everything. When I was younger and we didn't know like how to measure our foot properly, I, like many others, wore shoes that were too big for me. And you know, you always had that excuse that your parents said, you're gonna grow into them. In my case, I didn't. Like I stopped at this size, you know what I mean? So like I was wearing shoes that were like 1.5 sizes too big for me because I was supposed to grow into the shoe, and that just never happened. So when I got my foot properly fitted at the store by somebody that was actually knowledgeable about footwear, that was like my first footwear lesson, which was really cool. It was an athlete's foot, and the employee, I was going to buy my Jumpman Pros, and he sat me down. I was wearing my broke ass OG Jordan 11s, and he saw like how they were creased and everything. He was like, bro, you're not wearing the right size. I was like, what you mean? Like they fit and all that stuff, but they, you know, they didn't. So he fit me. He told me his personal experience, like being like, I like my shoes to have this much room, and that's just what I got used to. It was like a nice one-to-one snug fit, and ever since then, that's just what I've been going with, and I personally love it. The way I like my shoes to fit is the finger rule, which is if you can stick a finger in the back, you're good. If you can stick two in there, she ain't for you.
All right, here's another one from me. You often mention in videos that sneaker designers will DM you after they watch a video of you talking about the shoe they designed or colored. What are the things you talk about with them?
It's usually about shoes. So we're just shooting the It's just like what we do on the channel with like people, or like what we do with the WearTesters live chats and stuff like that, where sometimes they're picking my brain, sometimes or most of the time I'm picking theirs. A lot of times I'm asking for confirmation on the type of foams that they use. They've also taught me the differences between their levels of foam, so like they can increase things by like a percentage or lower things to make it more dense or fluffy, whatever the situation calls for. Sometimes they talk about things that they're frustrated with, and then usually that like it's something that I'm frustrated with too, or like the suits or the big wigs that make the big decisions kind of like stifle or hinder creativity. A lot of times the budget can do that too. So we just talk about everything. It's usually just a real casual conversation. Sometimes we're talking about nerd. They read comics and stuff too, so it just kind of depends. But yeah, we're friends, I guess, that talk about the same things that you and I talk about.
Do they ever tell you off the record that you're right about something that the official marketing doesn't mention?
Sometimes I get like, hey, you were right about your assumption, because sometimes that's all I have to go off of. Because sometimes like they're really busy, so like if I DM them or something with a question, I might not get a response until after we've already filmed the video. Sometimes it's a delayed like, yeah, you're right on that. Sometimes it's like just cool to see that those people feel appreciated. So like if I really love something like a GT cut or like those Barclays that we just reviewed where like the colorway was hella dope, and it's just cool to see those people get a kick out of people like me getting a kick out of their creation.
Who in the industry helped you along the way? Is there anyone you want to shout out or talk about?
Not really. There's a couple of people that definitely have benefited me. Like everybody that I've interacted with, I would say has benefited me in some way, whether it was positively or negatively, but it's because I learned something out of the situation. So like a trademark situation, for example, which I've been through, is definitely a negative experience, but at the same time has a positive outcome. So I can't like knock it, you know what I mean? Like you could look at things half empty or half full. Sometimes it's a mixture of both. As far as like actual people, you're actually one of those people. So you helped establish after Kicks on Court the WearTesters, or allowed us to use the WearTesters name. And then Nick Engvall, Brandon, when they were over at Finish Line, or even Nick before then, like when he was with Complex, he helped me link up with them. So like the Kicks on Court site was affiliated with Complex under their ad network for a time. Little things like that, but like those are really the main people. Is it less than a handful, you know what I mean? Where everything else though was pretty much my hard work, and I can't give like credit for things that I did, you know what I mean? So yeah.
This one's from a lot of IG followers. What's impressed you most about Puma's return to basketball?
Well, signing somebody as important as LaMelo was like a big one, because being a brand like them where they're re-entering a market, even though they've been in the market before, but re-entering a market and having a high-profile rookie or athlete or whatever actually like sign with you is a pretty big deal, and we can see what the outcome has been like with them with their sales. These shoes are selling out. Like I can't even get on the website anymore. You know what I mean? Like on a release day for like a new LaMelo shoe, I can't get on their website. It just sits there and spins, and that's really interesting. Outside of that, the only thing that I've been truly impressed with is how receptive they've all been collectively for feedback, whether it be positive or negative, which we've had both since what was that shoe? The Disrupt? Ever since we reviewed that shoe, this is the difference between a brand like a Puma, not just them specifically, and other brands that like think that their doesn't stink, is that Puma sends us stuff, good or bad, they take the criticism and then they work on it on the next model, and you can see that like the proof is in the product, right? Whereas the other brands that feel like we are number one, so we're gonna, you know, whatever, and they'll just like disown you essentially, like they act like you don't exist. And that's fine for me, I guess, even though it's a little bit weird, just because it's kind of like when a movie critic critiques a movie, they don't get shunned by the movie studios. They're more like, can't please them all. And so then they invite them to the next movie and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different with sneakers. What I've really learned is it's not about what you know in this industry, it's about who you know. And the people that I know don't really me, and I don't them either, so the feeling is mutual.
This one's also from IG, from a lot of people frustrated about copying sneakers. Where would you suggest people spend their money if they're not able to buy Jordan or Nike retros that they want?
Well, there's always alternatives within the same brand. We did a video on the New Balance. The hell number is that? There's too many numbers.
1010.
Well, I mean, it was on the 1010.
99
something. That's right. The 550 was the model, and then the 1010 was the alternative. So when we're talking about Jordan brand, there are alternative models that the brand offers. It probably won't give you that retro flavor that you're looking for, but there are alternatives. Same thing with Nike. Like there's the Dunk, and then they have, I can't remember what they're called, but like it's the white shoe that's at like Famous Footwear.
The Court?
It's something like that, but like there's a mid and then there's lows, and those are everywhere like here in our area because they're affordable and they give off that flavor. So every brand has their alternative. If you're just looking for like retro flavor though, without having to deal with anything, and you don't want to have to be sweating for a release, or you can probably get stuff like half off, Reebok. Like Reebok's got the illest 80s ever, and you can find it at their outlets for 40% off on like a regular basis. Like you can get the Club C's, the 85s, classic leathers, the nylons, like anything. Like you can get all their stuff for like half off. It's crazy.
@Bins on Discord asks, what shoes would you add to the list if you were to make another best basketball shoes I've ever tested video like the one you did in 2018?
So I would add the GT cut.
MB1.
Oh yeah, the MB1 for sure. I just called it something wrong in that video. What was it was the Clyde Court or was the Clyde All Pro, sorry. The Kyrie 6 is still a favorite of mine. I'll just leave it at that, keep it simple.
Ralph Puno from Discord asks, what is your vision for WearTesters, your brand, Sense Apparel, and the Discord community for the next 5 years or so?
Well, 5 years is a long time, so I never think that far in advance. I'm always just kind of excited for tomorrow, so I'm not prepared for much of anything. I'm a pivoter, so whatever happens, like I'll just kind of like adjust and move accordingly. So yeah, so as far as WearTesters is concerned, I mean, we want to add new faces, so that's something that's definitely a goal of ours. So we want to add new testers, get more voices in our little community here. Same thing goes for the Discord, which is kind of like one and the same, where we want the new faces to interact with the people that view the channel, because I think that that's important. And then as far as Sense Apparel goes, the main thing that I want to do with that is, the first thing is I want to get licenses so that we can do really legit stuff like this. Like I want to do stuff that is not going to get me sued if I do it. So I want to do that, and then maybe the other thing is like manufacture all in-house. Like that's something that I would love to do as well. Like keep it really like legit small business, but community like impact, and something like that to where we're making a difference in our lives and the people that we like hire to help us like either design or manufacture, like do the screen printing, deliver, and all of that stuff. So those are like my main things that I'd like to do with that besides make money.
And finally, @Ralph Puno, again from Discord, asks, what are some great life or business lessons you've experienced throughout your career as an influencer and content creator?
Well, so the lessons have to be like in chronological order of the time in which the event happened. Like when I first started doing YouTube, there was no money, so it was just to do it because it was something fun. I'd say the biggest thing though to know is to know, one, your limit, but then also, because I'm in that issue right now of like my body's up because I was like, no, I'm just gonna go, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna do this until the wheels fall off, and guess what? The wheels do fall off. So you can't do that. But one of the things though is just to really just like know when to do something. Like with Jodi, for example, we're doing what we're doing because it's practical. Like I need somebody behind the camera to actually see what's happening. We've already reset these cameras once in just this Q&A round because we talked for longer than the things record for, you know what I mean? But being able to see that people like the interaction and then want more of it, like you can't like be like, no. So you have to be open to adapting to whatever the situation is. So like if you have an employee and maybe they're not working out, unfortunately you gotta, do that. And I'd say like when it comes to business, like everything is a lesson, whether you up or you don't. Like everything is just something to be able to like learn to like move on. Like you've taught me tons of stuff just on the business side of things, stuff like that. You just kind of have to know that it's okay, like all of it, you know what I mean? The wins and the losses.
Was that the last one?
That's the last one.
Do you have like an off the top or what?
I have a question.
Okay, go for it.
Who's your favorite co-host?
Like that I've ever had?
Sure. I'm gonna take my shoe off and throw it at you.
That's your answer. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. We don't do these often, but every once in a while we will. Just as a kind of like frame of reference or whatever, like when Drew is mentioning IG or Twitter and things like that from the WearTesters accounts, I do not manage those. So if you're looking to contact me, you can either email me or you can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. @WearTesters is something completely separate. I don't even go on those things. So that's Drew actually that you're talking to. So if you ever hit up any of those channels or those accounts, you're talking to him.
The best way to get a hold of you would be to join Discord.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's a good, that's a great plug. That's why she's here. So, but yeah, so if you want to talk to me, like what we just did right now, Discord is where they do it. Like we have like channels and stuff. Like we did the Fortnite with the lightsabers are back. Lightsabers are awesome in that game. So if you wanted to talk to me, that's actually the best place because I do stay off of Twitter. Same thing with Instagram. Instagram is just a piece of shit. So if you really want to talk to me, I guess don't hit me up on those things. Don't even follow me. Just go to Discord. Oh, and then I got to sign out. Sorry. So yeah, take it easy.